Stop button. Speech off.
Okay, so am I cheating, or does it look like I'm kind of like cheating when it comes to sending emails? When I decide, okay, it's too late for me to send this now, there's an option to be able to send it at like 8 a.m. the next day, and I decide to hit the button, or I can schedule it to go out at like 7 a.m. or whatever, because that's what I've been doing if I feel like it's too late to send something. Because okay, so basically the mail app on the iPhone, like the one that already comes like on the phone, it has that option. And then Outlook on the iPhone, I haven't tried it with JAWS, but I know that on the iPhone it also has that option too. And I might also use that to my advantage if I haven't come up with like the wording for something that I want to say, and I'm like, okay, we're just gonna have to wait. Last night though, that was not really a thing because Canvas decided to act up while I was doing a quiz for one of my classes, and yeah, I had to email the professor. Luckily, Canvas came back on briefly, and I was able to finish the quiz, and it didn't like delete my progress, but it did have me start over again to like show me the answers that I selected, which I don't care. You know, if that's what you need to do, then okay, whatever. We're not going to talk about my tech struggles in this one. So today my mom was talking with my cousin. So my mom's sister's youngest kid. He has 2 kids. One of them is almost preschool age, and then the other one is a baby, like only a couple months old. So he's talking about like what he wants to do school-wise, and he brings up homeschooling or charter schools. I mean, like, if you want to put your kid in a charter school, put him in a charter school. One of those parochial schools, nah. I mean, I don't know, go off, but at the same time, expect, depending on how shitty the parochial school is, expect trauma. I don't know, crazy people, crazy pastors or priests, or like at Catholic schools, or you got Christian schools where, for example, I'm never gonna forget this because I was actually told the story that at the Christian school that my brother went to, the secretary. So my mom bought some tacos for my brother. He wanted it, like, you know, I guess like, I don't know if he just had like a really busy schedule or if he just wanted lunch that day from like somewhere that wasn't the school. But she got him tacos. She goes to the front office to let the people know that she's there. And the secretary makes this face. I wasn't there. I obviously, and even if I was, I couldn't see her, but I was told the story was that she made a face and she kind of made it seem like she didn't like the smell of the tacos. Okay, I understand that, but whenever she went alone to the school, they would act, at least this particular secretary, mind you that she was the principal's wife, she would act like she didn't see my mom, but if it was my mom or my dad, she was like different. She acted different, like a lot nicer. And this is what I'm saying, some parochial schools, even with little things like that, and there's more about my thoughts on parochial schools, no, just no. Some of them don't know how to handle kids with disabilities. I, for one, I'm not upset at this. I honestly feel like I was saved by not having to go to that school. But we're going to talk about homeschool, because one of the things my cousin was talking about was homeschool. To quote, not have his kid um, take in ideas that he does not want him to take in. If you're using homeschool to shelter your kids, yeah, no. I do not agree with that, because let's say they want to go to college, right? Unless you're not dictating their entire lives. Let's say they want to go to college. What are you going to do if they decide that they don't like the way that you raised them, or they don't like something that you did, or they hear something, you know, they pick up on things that you swore they were never going to pick up on? What then? And any backlash that they throw your way is on you because of the way that you decided to go about raising them. I'm sorry, I'm not condoning anything crazy. I'm just saying, like, any, like, criticism aimed at you from them when they're older and they realize that they don't like something that you did or said, or ideas that you gave them, especially when it comes to, like, religious cults and other things, it's like, you can't complain. If they decide to go no contact, you should look at what you did. But, I mean, a lot of these, like, IBLP people, or just, like, religious cults in general, don't consider that. And then I feel like I have a separate thing about religious cults. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but homeschool. If it's like, if there's a kid with health issues and they can't be in school all the time, they're constantly missing because they have to be in the hospital, home hospital programs, I'm for that. Or if you come up with a homeschool thing yourself that works, they, you know, bit by bit get, like, the education that they need based on, like, how they're feeling and whatnot. That I'm for. If there's also a social aspect and they're not, like, isolated, because I think homeschool can work, you just have to, like, you know, there needs to be a social aspect. And to me, I mean, I'm glad my mom brought this up to my cousin, because, okay, so the middle one has a kid. She's the only child. She's about to turn 9. Holy shit. She was born in, like, 2016, I believe. And now she's, like, 9. I'm like, holy shit. Or she's about to be 9. Socially, she's a little wah-wah. Even to this day, even when they put her in public school. I mean, they did not prepare her that well. Like, she can interact with other people, but when it comes to playing games, she is one of those that is like, if she loses, she'll have, like, her little kid freak out. And I'm like, inside my head, I'm going, if the other one, the youngest of my mom's sister's kids, decides to homeschool his kid, yeah, include the social aspect, because we cannot have another issue like that. And I don't think she's outgrown it completely. I mean, we haven't had her around that much in the last couple months because things have been a little hectic with college and just, like, you know, other things. I don't know if she's completely outgrown it. But yeah, I mean, homeschool can work. I feel like you have to include the social part. I am for, like, the home hospital programs, or, like, any other program for, like, kids with health issues. That's okay. Like, I'm for that. again, you also have to include the social aspect, but then again, you have to consider how they're feeling and, you know, where they are health-wise. But hyper-religious people, or, like, these really, like, the people you see on the TLC shows like Mama's Boy or Smothered, you do not need to be homeschooling your kids. I'm sorry. I mean, go off, but expect criticism to be thrown your way. If they decide to go into the outside world and they convince you enough and they get you out of your little shell, because I think at 18, what are you gonna do? Unless you have like a marriage lined up for them, I don't know, like Mormons or whatever. Like then what? They're screwed until like their 50s and they realize that life wasn't for them. Things to consider. But yeah, I have mixed feelings about homeschool. Let's just put it like that. I'm not saying it should be banned. Keep that in mind. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you do it the right way, and if you're not an asshole, then okay. But if you are an asshole or like a hyper-religious, like, you know, I want to shelter my kids kind of person, then yeah. You should not. You know, probably reconsider. If you want to dump them in a parochial school, then okay, whatever. Like one of those religious ones that Republicans love to, you know, Republican politicians love to kiss the asses of. Those are my thoughts. I'm gonna dive a little deeper into like a specific part, but that might be later on in like 2026 or whenever I have the information and the guts.
Speech on. Duration 12 minutes, 36 seconds.
Oh, 12 minutes in.
Stop button.
Okay, bye.